This one is the 17th session of the second unit of industrial economics, and this session is related to industrial dispersal policy in India. So in this session I am going to discuss about the industrial dispersal policy in India. So first of all, introduction of this policy. Government action to influence the ownership and structure of the industry and its performance. It takes the form of paying subsidies or providing finance in other way or of regulation. It includes procedures, principles, that is, the philosophy of a given economy, or policies, rules and regulations, incentives and punishments, the tariff policy, the labor policy, government attitude towards regional capital, etc., towards foreign capital, etc. Explanation. The industrial policies in India since independence. Industrial Policy Resolution of 1948. It defines the broad contours of the policy, delineating the role of the state in industrial development both as an entrepreneur and authority. It made clear that India is going to have a mixed economic model. It classified industries into four broad areas. Strategic industries, that is related to public sector. It includes three industries in which central government had monopoly. These included arms and ammunition, atomic energy and rail transport. So this is the first category of industries. So second category is basic or key industries, which is also known as public cum private sector. Six industries that are coal, iron and steel, aircraft manufacturing, shipbuilding, manufacture of telephone, telegraph and wireless apparatus, and mineral oil were designated as key industries or basic industries. So the third classification is important industries, which is also known as controlled private sector. It includes 18 industries including heavy chemicals, sugar, cotton textile and woolen industry, cement, paper, salt, machine tools, fertilizer, rubber, air and street transport, motor, tractor, electricity, etc. These industries continue to remain under private sector. However, the central government in consultation with the state government had general control over them. So the next part is the Industries Development and Regulation Act was passed in 1951 to implement the Industrial Policy Resolution in 1948. Industrial Policy Statement of 1956. Government revised its first industrial policy, that is the policy of 1948, through the Industrial Policy of 1956. It was regarded as the economic constitution of India or the Bible of state capitalism. The 1956 policy emphasized the need to expand the public sector, to build up a large and growing cooperative sector, and to encourage the separation of ownership and management in private industries, and above all, prevent the rise of private monopolies. IPR 1956 classified industries into three categories. Schedule A, consisting of 17 industries, was the exclusive responsibility of the state. Out of these 17 industries, 4 industries, namely arms and ammunition, atomic energy, railways and air transport, had central government monopolies. New units in the remaining industries were developed by the state government. Schedule B, it consists of 12 industries, was open to both the private and public sectors. However, such industries were progressively state-owned. So this is the Schedule B industries. Next, Schedule C industries. All the other industries not included in these two schedules constituted the third category, which was left open to the private sector. However, the state reserves the right to undertake any type of industrial production. So these are the some categories of industries. In order to open new industry or to expand production, obtaining a license from the government was prerequisite. Opening new industries in economically backward areas was incentivized through easy licensing and subsidization of critical inputs like electricity and water. This was done to counter regional disparities that existed in the country. Industrial policy of 1980 sought to promote the concept of economic federation, to raise the efficiency of the public sector, and to reverse the trend of industrial production of the past 3 years, and reaffirmed its faith in the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act and the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act (FERA). New industrial policy during economic reforms of 1991. The long awaited liberalized industries policy was announced by the Government of India in 1991 in the midst of severe economic instability in the country. The objective of the policy was to raise efficiency and accelerate economic growth. Features of new industrial policy. First feature is de-reservation of public sector. Sectors that were earlier exclusively released for public sector were reduced. However, preeminent place of public sector in five core areas like arms and ammunition, atomic energy, mineral oils, rail transport and mining was continued. Liberalization of foreign investment. This was the first industrial policy in which foreign companies were allowed to have majority stake in India. In 47 high priority industries, up to 50% FDI was allowed. For export trading houses, FDI up to 74% was allowed. Foreign Technology Agreement. Atomic approvals for technology related agreements. Next part, MRTP Act. It was amended to remove the threshold limits of assets in respect of MRTP companies and dominant undertakings. MRTP Act was replaced by the Competition Act 2002. So summary is, students easily understand the industrial dispersal policy in India and important industrial policies in India.